with that, we missed one commissioner that had some health issues last week, and we'll remember him in our prayers also.
Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for all that you do for us, Lord. We thank you for loving us, and we thank you for the ways that you bless us. Lord, I just thank you for just the leaders of Newton County that know the importance of coming to you in prayer, God, and just lifting you up as they conduct the business, Lord, today. And Lord, I just pray that you will just give them guidance and direction today as they seek you. Lord, just pray also for this commissioner who has health issues in his family. Lord, I pray that you will bring healing. I pray that you will just minister to them the way that they need to be ministered to, Lord, that they will know that they can depend on you and they know that you are there with them. Lord, we just thank you for all that you do for us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
It's Tuesday, November 12th, 2019, and we're going to go ahead and open our court. And we do have a forum, and acknowledge any guests here today. And so we're going to start with our consent agenda, and be reminded of the minutes of the previous meetings not in this report, and also the Newton County End of Care Program reports not in there, so they will not be okayed. Any questions? Not, do I need a motion?
Make a motion.
Motion been made, second, we accept the consent agenda for the absence of the previous minutes and end health care report. No discussions, for all in favor? Okay, we're going to deliberate and consider action on the following items. And number one is to discuss an appropriate approve making the county road 2034 a private road. And there's some issues that came up with this project this morning, but while Mr. and Ms. Simmons is here, I would go ahead and let them present their case, and then I would recommend this table.
Morning. Mr. Weeks, I met you. I met you, Mr. Phil. Mr. Gary, I don't know you. Mr. William, I don't know you. My name is Jim Simmons. We moved down here 4 years ago. Previous to us moving down here, Mr. Gibson owned our house, and he had things come up missing off of this porch. In recent, we have had people come up and down our road at all times of the day and night looking for people that we don't even know, don't know who they are. Here recently, even more recent, Mr. Leonard Powell had some things stolen, had a four-wheeler stolen, had his house been broken into, and several of the campers been broken into. When I leave in the mornings, I leave at about 4:15. I may not be home until midnight. I do not like leaving my life and property open to anybody like that. So with that being said, I would like to make 2034 a private road. We'll put gates up and we will take on the responsibility of taking care of the road. And whatever is needed from the city, whether they need to get in and check water or electric, whatever, we'll follow up with that.
I'm a home health nurse. And I come in and out, and it kind of, it's unnerving to see like cars just parked on our road sometimes for no reason, and nobody in them. We have security cameras, so we see a lot of activity that really just, you know, a lot of people probably are just turning around, but we just like, we have to just kind of stop.
People turning around is not the issue, it's the people that stop and ask for people that don't exist.
Yeah, or they're coming in and out like around 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, so on our cameras, so.
A little more clarification, identification is that this road is located, it's the old 87, Highway 87, and the new Highway 87. Their home is on the old highway, which is some 50 yards or 80 yards, somewhere in there off of the main 87, current 87. So there's an old loop that comes in one way and go out the other way. And that's the issue, is that, you know, people sometimes go through there. I don't know if they're looking for stuff, but you know, it's a two-way in and out, so that's, you know, it's subject to have people prowling around to, you know, pass through.
Well, they have access because it's a county road.
Yeah. Right.
And John may be fixing to address this. I had a similar problem in Deweyville. When you sign that private road, it's signed to them, or is it going to be signed to Leonard? It won't be assigned to both people.
Well, there's a lot more involved in abandoning or redistricting a road than y'all just being able to accept an application and vote on it. And that's why I suggest that you table it today. Now, I'm not against y'all getting it to be a private road, but there's a lot more hoops to jump through than just filing what y'all filed and getting the commissioner's court to vote on it. There's going to be some other things that have to be done. And actually, I'm probably going to get y'all's name from Judge Weeks and y'all's phone number and call y'all and talk to y'all a little more about what needs to be done. And y'all may want to hire outside counsel to jump through those hoops, because there's going to have to be postings made, dates, times, things of that nature to be able to do that. And the issue of other people living down that road, you know, brings into question, because when you make it a private road, there's going to have to be deeds cut on who owns what sections of the center line and things of that nature. So there's a lot of things in the transportation code that need to be looked at prior to us doing that for y'all. But right now, I don't see a problem when that happens, but there's going to be some hoops that the court's going to have to jump through, and y'all are going to have to jump through to be able to do that.
Okay.
So my suggestion today to Judge Weeks is to table the item for today, discuss the issues in the transportation code further. I know it's going to delay it for you, but I don't see a problem with it being done.
So we get the ball rolling.
Yeah, after court today, and I get y'all name, I'll call y'all. We actually have county court tomorrow, so it may be Thursday before I get on the phone with one of y'all.
Okay, do we need to be back for that?
No, no, that's a whole different court, so, we'll discuss it with you, and I may give y'all some information on somebody y'all can call to help y'all through the process, okay? All right. My suggestion to the court is that we table the item for now, and then pick the issue up later.
Can we go?
Do we go or stay?
I'll get on the court, and I'll get y'all.
I make a motion that we table this discussion until further notice.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded that we would table item number 1. Any more discussion? All in favor? We're going to move item number 4 up to next, and that's discuss and if appropriate to approve contract between the city of Telecom Company Incorporated, Union County Correctional Communication Service. I'm going to let Ms. Ashley.
I'd like to take a second to introduce Dr. Young to you. He's got a contract and stuff that we want to run through with y'all. but he's here, and I'm gonna turn it over to Ashley. She is, can summarize this a whole lot better than I can, and a whole lot better to look at than I can.
As y'all are aware, we do have the Burke Center, who is our local mental health authorities that assess our mental health patients. But we do not have an in-house medical doctor that represents the jail. And the jail commission, the state has mandated that if you do not have a medical department, that you have everyone that's incarcerated, medications evaluated as soon as possible. Sometimes this leads us on the weekends, go into the emergency room. We have to physically take everybody, even if it's a refill or a prescription, to the doctor, and that's physically taken into Jasper to Gold Coast, which is who we've been using. Dr. Young is going to get up and tell you a little bit about this company that he has. It's basically a telemed. He will be able to online assess our inmates. He can do prescriptions. He can come off, do the mental health prescriptions, which will help us a lot. A lot of our patients that come in do have to have that. Whether it's if they haven't had their medication for 8 months and we need to get them back on it, we do work hand in hand with Burke Center on prescriptions. The Burke Center, however, cannot evaluate or prescribe anything to a person once they come into the custody of the Newton County Jail. It is our responsibility, and it's difficult having the manpower to take them physically. So basically what he does is he has a cart that he provides the jail with. It is a durable cart. It has a laptop on top of it. The inmate comes into the facility. He kind of assesses them, and then we go from there, and he's going to work closely with our local pharmacy, which is who we're currently using as well. The main issue is that we have no doctor who is overseeing our jail. The state understands that we're a rural jail, that we're small, so they have kind of bent for us, but they have expectations of us because of the new technology and being able to use the telemed. They have expectations of us trying to find a doctor for our facility, whether it be in person or via telemed. Another problem we have, as you're well aware, whenever people come into custody, sometimes they're under the influence of narcotics, and it's difficult to bring them into a facility where the public is. A lot of doctors, we've been grateful with Gold Coast, but there are some instances where we're unable to bring them because they don't feel comfortable with the patient in that facility. So we wind up having to allow them to detox before we can bring them, and that in itself is a liability on the county.
Judge, the one she's talking about is item 3, not 4. If you're looking.
It's, future telemed.
Yeah, it's
Dr.
4.
Robert A.
It's
Young.
4.
It's 4.
Oh, well, mine says 3.
Mine says 3. Telemed.
There's a telemed and a telecoin, so it's a little.
Yeah.
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 We're talking about the telemed,
Yes.
or we're talking about? Okay, we're talking about aisle number 3.
4.
On ours, it's number 4.
And mine is number 4.
So we're not doing the telemed?
The telemed on ours is number 5.
This one isn't
It's gotta be number 3. The telecoin company is number 4.
On ours,
There's 2 different ones.
Okay.
Mine's number 4 for the
no, sir, we're still using the Burke Center card.
It's gotta be number 4.
Yeah.
The Burke Center, we paid them for,
I didn't make it.
They'll let them know what's been.
He needs a copy of this though, because
the
this is
Burke Center we paid for
official.
is the community. But once they come into custody, the Burke Center no longer
She just
helps
handed
them.
me.
jail.
There's
That's why.
2 different agenda items.
What was your question,
That's
Steve?
How we gonna pay?
This is the one that.
Where do you make come from? If we're gonna pay the Burke Center, we're gonna pay him too, right?
The Burke Center is for people who are in our community, but the Burke Center refuses to help our patient or our inmates. They will not help, they only do crisis. So crisis is immediate crisis, they help them and then they come back in our custody. But they won't help them if they're a regular patient there and they're prescribing the medication as a regular doctor when they're on the street. Once they get in our custody, they won't look, they won't
No, I got just
evaluate
from
them,
my office.
prescribe them or nothing.
So
We're
it's
having to do
one
that
of
as
this
an
mail.
outpatient through Gulf Coast. Now, the Burke Center allows you to contract with them for extra services, but that's paying the Burke Center again.
I thought we took our inmates to the Burke Center to get evaluated.
We do for crisis, but if they're not in crisis, which 9 times out of 10 they're gonna say they're not because they're in jail, so they're saying that they're trying to harm themselves, but we're watching them so they can't. And so then they become the responsibility of the jail, and that's when we have to go to a separate doctor, even if they're their patient in the free world, they refuse to see them. You have to pay an extra contract with the Burke Center for them to see them when they're incarcerated.
The way I understand it, this is also if we have, you get with one of the inmates on your camera and you can interview them and do what you need to do for the medicines, the big thing is where we don't have to take them over to Jasper Memorial or take them to a doctor, for whatever ailments they have, and instead we telemed them with the doctor. You stand up and tell what your deal is.
I think that's your big saving there. I mean, you're asking how you pay for it. Well, the question is, what are you paying out right now? And you're sending them, every time they have to go out, you're putting them in a car with an officer or now I guess you're having to do with the constable, but you're sending them to the ER, to a doctor. That's where your money's going. That's where you're spending or just kind of giving away a lot of money. What we're trying to do is keep them in-house and do it for a minimum price versus every time you go out and you get that big ER bill every month that you're just throwing out there. And I mean, I think it's been going a long time, so you don't notice it, but it'll be a big savings for y'all that way. And it's not let me tell you what I do. I do telemed. I'm not a doctor. I'm a PA, and I work with Dr. Splinter in Lufkin. I have a clinic in Zavala. That's my clinic. And what we do is we have it's really a toolbox. It's a big toolbox on wheels that we've mounted a monitor and a computer inside so that you can close it and lock it up so the inmates can't mess with it, or you can secure it. And when you open it up, you turn it on, and I can come on and I can actually interview I can either talk to the officers or I can talk to the inmate, and we can assess the patient and see what's going on and see and probably stop 80% of the stuff you're sending out. So that's where your savings there will be way more than what you're going to pay me to do this. And I mean, she has the numbers. I don't have them, but we can see them without ever leaving the facility. We can do their meds without ever leaving the facility. What the difference, I think, when you keep going back to the Burke Center, she's talking about crisis. When something's going on that needs immediate attention, the Burke Center will see them. But if they're just maintaining their meds, the Burke Center is not going to refill their meds. And then you've got a problem where you got to get him to his doctor to get a refill of his meds. That's another trip. You're sending them out paying a large amount, the transport and the doctor fee. So that's what we're saving. So that's what they're trying to do with the setup. We've been doing it for a long time. I've been doing it probably for about 10 to 12 years. I've been doing this. We did Jasper. I do Livingston. I got several facilities up in Jones County, up in Central Texas. And it works well, and it works well with the officers. They can call me. The good thing is here also is you got 24-hour access. If they have something going on in the middle of the night, they can get on the phone, they can call me, I can get on the line with them, I can assess the patient right then. And I am not a psychiatrist, so I mean, a lot of her issues are psych, but I do medical, and so mine is more the medical side, but we can one of the big expenses is to get their meds refilled. You have to send them out and get them seen. But I can refill their meds. I can maintain their meds, so they won't have to go out anymore. So that'll be a big saving to them. So.
Should someone have some numbers, some figures we could kind of?
Yeah, there should be some documentation from the Simmons.
Yeah, I think that's what, to understand what's happening, how much our spending, you need to see that. We're always spending a ton of money for the Burke Center that will not get a service for now.
The Burke Center, their main goal as far as I've been told, because I sent them a contract. Whenever we originally spoke with Dr. Young, I was in the middle of sending them a contract. So basically what the Burke Center wants you to do is you're paying into the Burke Center as our local mental health. But they do not service the jail. You have to send a separate contract and payment for them to do what they do for the community inside the jail. I sent that contract, I followed up on it, and there was no word back. But here's the deal, whenever you go into this contract with Burke Center for the jail, then it's just for psych. So if I have someone that's in psychosis, but they say they're not needing a higher level of care because you're watching them on suicide watch, if they have any other illness, blood pressure, medication they need filled, anything like that, they won't see them for that.
Does Indigent Care pay for this now?
It does.
Will it also pay for his services?
I do not believe so. He's got a flat rate, for the services for an annual, more or less, contracted rate.
So it's not per patient, it's just so much.
It's not per patient, it's just a flat rate.
If we could qualify them for Indigent Care, could you charge by patient, or would it have to be an annual payment?
You mean, could I bill out the patients myself?
To Newton County and then Indigent Care pay for it?
I don't, that I'm not aware. We don't do that anywhere else, so it'd have to be something, I mean, I would be willing to look into that, but I don't know, I'm not sure.
You're talking about on an individual basis.
Right, as long as we get the Indigent Care to pay for it, and I feel like it would have to be on an individual basis to do that. And I'm kind of like the guy from, I think it was Sabine County. We're just throwing a lot of money into Burke Center, getting over anything in return.
All right, let's go back up there. It's number 3, and we want to correct this.
Let me see your indenture.
For the Telemed PLLC, Newton County Jail Inmate Medical Care.
That's the one we just had, Judge.
I don't know how the world.
Well, it's on Olin's, I've had the same way, it shows in number 4 on his. It's number 3 on mine.
She must have redone it.
Can we make
I think she
copies?
added something. Oh.
Can we make copies,
Yeah.
please?
That's the one
I
that you
I have it correct here, but I'd have to go downstairs and
I'm
make
sorry?
copies.
That's the one that you put
Yeah.
up
I mean,
in
because
there.
they'll need the
Number
correct
4
number,
is the one that we just talked about.
is what I'm
Well, it's
saying.
number 3 on all of ours.
I don't know if he wants me to leave to go.
And number
That's what I'm
5 is the
saying.
one about the inmate phones.
Yes, that's the way mine
And number 6 is the one about our cleaning supplies in the jail.
Yes.
On mine, anyway.
Judge, you want me, well,
Yours is blue in there. You need to get a new one over there on the table.
is the new, those copies correct? I don't know, she must have added, I think she added something and it bumped everybody down. Because in this one, number 3 is fire troll, and it's not on this one. Is it fire troll on number 3 on yours? Yeah, that's the correct one, so I have the correct one right here.
Okay.
Number 3.
We're on number 3 now. That's the one we just talked about.
Yes.
Are those the correct ones? Are those correct? What you got on number 3?
Probably need to
Fire troll.
get a little more information
So
on
those are
that.
correct.
Crossroads and
I got some.
answer these questions.
Do you want to, oh, she's going to be upstairs to print some.
I make the motion that we table this item until we get the answers to all the questions that we have. Whether we can, combine the services or, make sure where they interact and overlap and that kind of thing.
I think it'd be ideal if we could get the Indigent Care to pay for it. I don't know what.
We could check on it.
I'll work on that.
I'll tell you what I'll do, I will contact Polk County, and I know that, and check with them. I should have done it, I just haven't done it yet. We'll put it back on the next
He
agenda.
has a full-time, but he's got a nurse that actually comes to the facility who reports back to her position. They pay her.
Should be someone to get in and carry the paper.
3/4 of the people we got down there, it's injured, and it seems like it ought to qualify for that, but I'll check with Polk County and see where they're at.
I hear a second.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded, we table item number 3. Any more discussion? Not all in favor? Four.
That's until they.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go back up to item number 2, discuss and possibly take action regarding bid received from property held in trust by Texas entity, Ms. Moore.
I received a bid for a trust property which had been placed on 8/6 of 19. The bid is $7,500. It's lot 7 and 8, lot 2 of provision number 2, 720 West Street. Upon approval of the entities, will prepare deeds to the
And the school board's already approved this, right?
it's set on their agenda for next week.
What do we get into when we approve before they do?
We can table it for next month and let them approve it first if you'd rather.
Is there a reason why?
Well, county may accept it, and the school district may not accept it.
And then it's not
That's what's-
accepted.
Well, if that's sold, then it's not approved at all, right?
It's not, no, it's not approved at all, it's not.
Both have to approve it.
Yeah. We just have to have the approval first.
Well, I feel like they probably will. but-
And we've
Yeah,
done it
it's got to be
before.
approved by, approval by the entity.
Okay.
I'll make it motion.
Motion is made and seconded. We approve the property held by trust by the tax entity for $7,500. Any more discussion? All in favor? Four. Okay, we get back to number 4, which I'm misrepresenting before I go, but discuss and appropriate approved contract between the city and Tell, Common and county, and the company incorporated in Newton County Correctional Communication System.
This is just our annual contract with a telephone company that provides phone service for the inmates, that they have to pay the call, collect, and do all this. It's just an annual contract that we need to renew for telephone for inmates.
So it's no different than the old contract, it's identical?
No, it's still the same.
Did they not post this?
No, they need copies of this one. So, okay. We're just on the wrong number. This is number 5. See, that is,
No, this is number 4.
that's the one that was not posted in our office. This one was.
The motion.
And their numbers
So
are
moved.
different.
Well, you need to stop them and tell them,
Second.
because that's not.
I am assuming Courtney reviewed it?
Sir?
I skimmed through it.
Okay.
Who was the second?
Motion been made and seconded, we approve item number 4. Any more discussion?
That should be item number 5, Judge. Did you get a corrected copy of the agenda?
He does.
He does? Okay.
Marked the same as the one that was posted.
What's
Because,
number-
the
number
post,
four?
the one that was posted in our office has number 5 for the city, is that the city Delacorte, right? For the jail inmates?
It's 4 on ours, on mine.
She has to put in.
I got, yeah, she changed it, but those two have the correct, I gave you the correct one from over there. The new one I gave you.
Yeah, mine's 4.
What is that one right there?
Some of us get the correct ones and some of them.
I don't know how that happened.
Most of those are preliminary.
Yeah, but that's the ones that posted.
Oh.
It's the one
Yes,
that's been
the one,
posted.
we have to go by the one that is posted.
Do you need
This one.
copies?
Yes.
the one with the numbers.
Would you like some copies?
So could we recess for just a few minutes so we get copies of those?
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you don't mind, note about, what about 20 copies?
I don't know. How she changed that? And I didn't get that copy.
All I gotta do is just third point.
She slept with me, that's right. And she don't like to leave when she goes to sleep, she don't like to be touched. Just real, so that's, I guess that's the first two.
Well, there's one that was fine.
Yeah. This one is not.
Okay, we're gonna call the meeting back into order, and, now that we're on item number 5, is that right?
But we haven't done 3.
We haven't done 3 yet.
No,
so
sir.
We're on item number 5.
Yes, sir.
Is that
Yes,
right,
sir.
Sam?
Yes, sir.
As soon as you're on board with number 5.
Yes, that's what we're on just now.
All right.
So we're on 5, so we got 4.
Yes.
4 we got.
And 1 and 2.
We gonna get number 3, or we gonna?
Yeah, we're gonna do that next. So we're gonna discuss the appropriate approved contract between City Hill, Coin Company Incorporated, and Newton County Correctional Communication System. And we're gonna start over with that out. And
Okay, we did that. That's telephones. Number
we discussed it, but,
Oh, okay.
so that's where we're at. Do you wanna re-discuss it, or?
No.
already had a motion.
No.
Okay.
Did we do a motion?
Yes.
Second.
Yeah, we did. Philip second.
I think Bill made the motion.
And I had Philip as a
And
second
Phil seconded.
for
Okay.
number 5, so we're ready.
Motion been made, second, we approve number 5. Any more discussion? Not, all in favor? 4. Okay, we'll just go ahead and get Mr. Bills out of the way, we'll go to number 6 and just discuss the appropriate approved contract between Central and Newton County for the Sheriff's Department facility service.
This is the cleaning supplies that meets the jail standards. It's a standard contract that we already have, and it's just the annual time to renew the next year's contract.
Nothing changed on it.
Nothing changed, same as it was.
Make that motion, that we accept the contract between Centos and Newton County.
Second.
Motion been made, second, that come see. Any more discussion? Not all in favor? Okay, we're gonna move back up to number 3. And discuss and appropriate approve changes to contract between Park Road and Newton County. And I'm gonna let Mr. Gage, explain it.
How's it going? Gage Parker Fire Patrol. I believe I'm here for the change order on the control relays. This has been a month and a half ago. You guys signed off to change out the panel that was in place at the courthouse. And we tied it in with the system that's in the sheriff's department. When I got the count on devices, I went off the count that's on the certificate of installation for the panel that was in place here. Although they installed the system, and then after the fact, by putting the certificate installation up, which has your count of devices, your pull stations, your strobes, your horn strobes, pull stations, all that good stuff. They came in after the fact and they installed control relays on the AC units in the ceiling. And what that does, in case of a fire, it'll shut down your AC units so you do not have smoke ventilating through the courthouse per se, and that will cause death through ventilation. So I propose to bring forward this change order. It's $1,400 to add control relays to all the AC units. I got this with me if y'all want to.
14,750.
Yes, sir.
You don't anticipate any more change orders?
No, sir, this is the last thing.
Also, while you're there, Gage, I got a note here, it's the heater in the fire pump is not coming on.
That's correct. And I actually printed out all the deficiencies at all the locations.
Yes. And, would you explain them?
Yes, sir. So, pull out this is there. So, outside of the courthouse here, you have what's called a pump. This pump, in theory, what it does is it pulls water from the city into the courthouse via fire. Fire happens, that pump is going to pull water from the city into the courthouse to make sure it suppresses the fire you have in place here. The fire pump is a diesel engine that needs to be ran periodically. Most people require them to run every month due to diesel buildup in the injectors. Diesel tends to clog up in injectors if the diesel engine is not running. Also, during investigation of the inspection, we found that the heater was not kicking on, heating up the pump. This has to be in place because if it's not, then per se the fire happens and then the motor's not working properly, you're not going to suppress the fire that you need suppressed. So that was actually going to be a time and material basis though, because they come out here and
Yeah, we're going, our agenda says the change to the contract. And
yeah,
that's what we're going to approve. But
yes, sir.
While you was up there, I was just going to get you go ahead and address these problems also.
Okay, that's no
Are
problem.
you talking about the heater on the injector pump so the engine is cranked properly? Is that what you're talking
Yes,
about?
sir. Yes, sir. And then also you're due for, you have 2 risers in the courthouse, stand-pipe risers for your sprinkler system. They're both due for internal investigation, 5-year internal investigation. And then you have some discussions missing. And that's the rest I see. I think there's a couple extinguishers here as well in the courthouse needs to be replaced.
On the preventative maintenance, you've got several items like the cave building.
Yes, sir.
So would you tell the court,
Go over those locations as well.
Just what's the title?
I'm sorry, Al, detail?
That's the first one on our list.
Through an inspection at the Powell Hotel, we found two 10-pound extinguishers that are needing to be replaced. So that's $320 to replace two 10-pound extinguishers. Which one is that? K building. And then upon the K building, through inspection, we found two 2.5 ABC extinguishers that need to be replaced. And when I say replaced, some of them are probably due for a 6-year or 12-year. Although, if I was to be honest, it's a lot cheaper if you want to replace the extinguisher, because when I have to take and pull the extinguisher from a location, and now I've got to put hours on my guy, he's gonna have to take that extinguisher apart and recharge it. You're looking, it's very time consuming through time and material. So it's a lot cheaper if I just replace the extinguisher. And that's what I'm suggesting, that I'm saying change the extinguisher.
Is this the same company that went to the commissioner's building and inspected the fire extinguishers? Well, mine's still sitting in the middle of the floor.
What's that?
The fire extinguishers. They set out and they came and inspected, and I think they picked up 3 or 4, and the rest of them are still sitting in the middle of the floor that's supposed to be empty.
That's why we're here today, is to get this go through, because the previous company you guys were using weren't taking care of you. That's why I got extinguishers on here that are 15, 16 years old, and that's not, legally, that's not.
Wouldn't it just be cheaper for us to go somewhere and buy fire extinguishers for the barns if we need the extinguishers?
You still got to recertify.
And you have to have them inspected, you have to have a tag on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Library.
County library, you have 2 Halotron extinguishers that are found bad and due for repair or be changed.
Anything that was. Anything.
Halotron are very expensive.
Okay, you got precinct, going on 4. Precinct 4.
Replacing 6 5-pound extinguishers. They're found bad.
How come we be replacing on precinct 4 barn?
Pat,
Isn't that all
you
new?
take care of that. That's the precinct on. That's the precinct. We just got to do it.
Yeah.
Said our fire extinguishers is no good. 5, 6 of them.
6 extinguishers.
6 of them.
Either they've been discharged
What's
or
wrong with them?
either they've been discharged or they're old.
Can't be
The
old.
company used to put old extinguishers out there.
Oh, great.
Okay.
I can
We'll take care of that.
I'll take care of that.
You can take care of that. I mean, I can pull the pictures up and stuff like
It's
that.
brand new. The facility's brand new.
Yeah, I mean, I can pull extinguishers. Actually, is this the one down that way? I've been down there and there's old extinguishers down there. I've been down there myself. And there was a lot of extinguishers that have been discharged and they're old. I've been down there myself. So you want me to throw this from the side?
Yes. Okay, precinct number 2.
Precinct number 2, you have 5 5-pound ABC extinguishers and need to be replaced, 3 10-pound extinguishers, and 1 2.5 H2O extinguisher needs to be replaced.
Instead of 5 or 5-pound AD.
ABC, yes sir. And the ABCs, And the H2Os are two different types of chemical in the extinguisher that put out different things.
Okay, precinct 3.
Precinct 3, there is 6 5-pound ABC extinguishers, 1 10-pound AB extinguisher, and 5 2.5 ABC extinguishers. The 2.5 would probably be like the ones on trucks and stuff like that. Need to be replaced. And the last one I have is the airport.
I have airport and old hospital.
What about precinct 1?
I haven't got a list for
You got
precinct.
this 900 something dollars.
Where?
Precinct 1, you ain't in there, Bill.
That's the story of my life.
When you go downstairs, the elevator, there's a fire extinguisher in the window
Yes.
on the first floor. Take a look at that one on your way out.
Take a look at it.
Yeah,
Is it discharged or?
it's, the dial's not reading correctly,
Right.
so, you know, I hate to
Admin.
hate to throw something else in the mix, but if I'm running to put out a fire downstairs, I want to grab one that
Well,
works.
that's why I'm here, actually, you know, I mean, I can't proceed without approval.
Well,
So,
check
I mean,
that one,
like I was
check that one on your way out.
Mm-hmm.
We got all these other ones over there.
Okay, airport.
The airport, placing 8 5-pound ABCs, 3 10-pound ABCs, 1 2.5 BC, and then 1 2.5 H2O, and then 10 vehicle brackets.
So where do all these go?
Actually, this was actually a combination of another location as well. I think it was the old hospital.
This is airport out there, which, we'll use.
I wonder if they combined
I wonder
yours,
if that's
Bill.
yours, Bill.
It might be combined with yours.
It might be, it might have been a combination. I remember that there was 2 locations on this. And I think they had any vehicle brackets and stuff like that.
I
So.
think that's yours.
That's gonna be yours. See, they didn't forget you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Precinct
Make
1.
sure we're not leaving Bill out, and if it's in on this quote, then I need to know that.
Well, we only have 2 buildings at the airport,
Yeah.
and I agree, we probably need a fire extinguisher there too.
Yeah.
At that hangar, you know.
This is what this is the list that I got. And I just turned around and quoted you for it, so.
Sounds like Commissioner Fuller's in compliance.
Never.
Well, I was at one time, and all those parts of it came when tax and inspector out. I mean, there's 2 air conditioners, seems like at every entrance and everywhere else, but they said that's what we had to have.
Yeah.
And then, the old hospital.
I must,
Here.
my mistake, I must have not turned to that.
It doesn't say what it is, though.
Must have been just one extinguisher, $110. Must have been just one 5-pound extinguisher.
Was that whole building, just one extinguisher?
Well, just one that was found bad.
Oh,
We
okay.
just replaced them.
Yeah.
Okay, back to, changing the contract between fire crew and Newton County. And I think we need to just address the change order. That'll be correct. Just a change order, and
The
not,
first one.
not, all the quotes.
Right.
we'll get further,
Just on that one
investigation.
location.
Okay, I'll make that motion that we change the, the change order, approve the change order for the difference of $1,400 on the contract for a fire truck.
Second.
Motion's been made, second, to approve the change order, contract between Fire Patrol and Newton County for, $1,407.50. Any more discussion? Not all in favor? Four.
So,
I'll get with you on this. All right, number 7 is to authorize the Commissioner Precinct 2 to purchase 2006 Ford 250, and I'll let Mr. White explain.
Okay, back on July 24th, there was an incident with my utility truck. It was an old 1990 truck with I think it had about 600,000 miles on it. Anyhow, it was well spent, but unfortunately the alternator shorted underneath the hood and burned. And I've been doing without it since, and whenever I need to change tires out on equipment out in the field, well, I've been using the Hollis Tire Service, which is more expensive than I really thought. But anyhow, we been in search for a replacement truck, and we use it, you know, occasionally, and it's not an everyday truck, so we chose to purchase a used truck, a good used truck. And so I found one up in, and I'd like to purchase it so we can get our equipment back on it, an air compressor, a winch, and diesel tank for taking out diesel fuel to the jobs and stuff. But it was a multi-use truck, and really need it, we miss it. And so I'd like to purchase a flatbed truck to put that equipment back on it, so that we can cut out the extra service charges.
You make that in form of a motion? Well, I'll make the motion then. To approve the purchase of the 2006 F-250 flatbed for Precinct 2.
Second.
Thank you.
Motion made, second, to approve the purchase of 2006 Ford F-250 for Precinct 2. Any more discussion? Not all in favor? Four. I'm ready to accept and approve the canvas of November 5th, 2019 constitutional amendment election in the same report.
This was a small election, we didn't have a whole lot of turnout, which is to be expected with this. I can go over the numbers if you'd like, or this is just to approve our final numbers so we can send it to the Secretary of State.
All of them carried the 2. $168 people voted.
Early voted. Grand total of us, a little over 1,074 ballots counted
That's
between
awesome.
early vote,
Wow.
mail out, and election day. And that's actually more than we kind of anticipated, so the income tax one got people out.
So it's actually 1,074 is actually voted.
That's
and
the
early
total,
voted and-
yes,
and-
total ballots counted.
So we got 9,000, we have 10,000. Went down.
So moved.
Motion being made and seconded, we accept the canvas for the November bill, 2019 Constitution Amendment election. Any more discussion? All in favor? Four. Okay, number 9 is Texas County
I'm good.
Plan year 2020.
This is just our, y'all discussed it back in budget, and it's just this time of the year for me to turn it in to let TCVRS know that y'all didn't make any changes. What the county's gonna contribute.
Yeah, we left it at 8.45.
It's 8.45.
Yeah, we just left it at that. when
And
we
it's
did
still
budget.
7% that the county,
Yeah.
with employees take out. And I just always get y'all to sign a piece of paper that I can show them. That y'all really did approve it.
Next year, y'all gonna vote on a raise for retirees, aren't you?
Why?
Huh?
The retirees insurance.
Retirees and insurance.
Yeah, I'll vote for that. Can we vote now?
I'll wait till budget.
Yes, ma'am.
We need to approve it first, Bill.
I'll approve it now before somebody changes
He
their mind.
he wants to get it his way.
Make a motion then.
Make a motion.
Here, motion.
She said we was just gonna discuss this.
We're just gonna discuss it and not have to approve it.
Mm-mm.
Go
But
ahead.
I want y'all to
Go
sign
ahead
it.
and sign it, Bill.
I think we've already approved.
Damn, see, I could have already had the damn thing signed.
Confused. We just like messing with you.
I just do it to bring it to court so y'all know what's going on and what takes place.
We just like messing with Bill.
I'm gonna miss me. Well, no, probably won't.
We will. We will.
Okay, number 10 is discussion appropriate approve the Buffalo Craig Custom Construction LLC to remodel Newton County Housing Authority. And this is where the ambulance service is requesting that they have a place to take a shower. And the housing authority has reached out and got this estimate, and this $4,750 is half of the cost of what they could do that with. So I'm asking the board to approve that.
I have no problem with it as long as it's legal. I don't know, can they spend money on property that they don't own? That's my question.
We've got an agreement with the housing authority.
We're currently under lease with them already, is that correct?
We have got a lease.
Okay, then, yes, we can spend calls.
We approved that lease, on the last session.
We got a new lease coming up.
We got another general lease with the, ambulance service that's going to occupy that.
Yeah.
But we're working on it right now.
Is that- So this estimate is good, good means you're about what we expect, that's what we're approving the estimate. We're approving the estimate.
Yeah.
So this, you think that's a reasonable,
This is,
So the housing authority gonna take half of it?
yeah, yeah, good. Okay.
I'll make the motion to approve the estimate cost, Credit Custom Construction.
A second.
motion been made and second, approve item number 10. Any more discussion? All in favor? Approved. 4. Number 11, to discuss and approve the 2020 Newton County holiday schedule.
Did anything change?
Yeah, a few days changed here and there because,
16.
yeah.
It's about the
Like
same.
the Fair Day,
Yeah, the fair day, of course, is different.
But
We got leap year next year, so everything kind of shifted.
Yeah, a little bit.
Everybody good, man? Y'all good, man? Corey, good, man?
Well, what 3 days did we add? What, did we have 13? Is that what we had originally? Or was it
Same-
16
same
originally?
as we
It's
had
about
with last
six-
year.
I think we
number?
got
Okay.
16 this year.
Okay.
Okay. I'll make that motion that we approve the 2020 Newton County holiday schedule.
Second.
motion been made and second, we'll approve the holiday schedule for 2020. Any more discussion? All in favor? 4. Number 12, to discuss and approve, recognize the nominated members of the Newton County Child Welfare Board. And they've got a list of those people in there. And we'd like to recognize them along with approving it.
Make that motion.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded, we approve the nominees against the members of the Newton County Welfare Board. Any more discussion? All in favor? 4. Okay, the next one is discussion of appropriate changes in the rental agreement and hired Civic Center. I put some examples in there in your packet where the fairground gets $200 a day and $100 deposit. The event center, they're $200 a day, no deposit. And the Civic Center right now is $150 a day with $50 deposit. And I'm asking to change those guidelines if the court permits.
What do you want to charge?
I want to change it to the same thing as fairground.
Okay.
I want to go up.
Okay. What do you want to look
300.
at? $300.
It's a nicer facility, more lights, more AC, stove, ice box, freezers, ice machine. Nice facility.
I
On
think
top of
if
that, we just spent a ton of money over
Yeah, we did.
that's how it's been.
I think if we go up that much, we should buy a bigger ice machine, because that ice machine won't hold up to a normal meeting.
In my opinion.
And that's my, but I agree, I mean,
Takes lots of maintenance
it'll
over
take,
there.
yeah, it'll take a lot of the,
How much money did you spend over there?
A lot.
a lot.
Okay.
And we ain't done. And, well, and it's not just that, you know, I rent it out and And like 2 weeks ago, my janitors had to clean up actual feces off the floor where in the bathroom where they, instead of going to the toilet, they went to the floor. I mean,
I don't believe I'd rent that group any longer.
no, he's not getting his deposit back.
No.
I wouldn't
I'd mark them off,
rent them.
too.
I wouldn't rent them.
My thoughts on it, I think definitely go up to at least the fairground amount, but, you know, we pay for it with tax dollars, so we're not a private entity that's trying to make money or anything off of it, so just, you know, keep that in mind, but, you know, it's a place that's supposed to serve the community and the county, so that's just what I was thinking. You know, the fair, they're a private organization, you know, nonprofit, but still, and the event center, same thing. So if it's a place that's for our citizens, then, you know, we need to try to keep it comparable to other places, I think. Something that's affordable for people to come around, and maybe add a janitor fee onto it, or make that, you know, the school does that. If they rent out the place, you pay to rent, you know, if you're doing a pageant or something, you rent, there's a rental fee, but then there's also a custodian fee too. So, you know, maybe some things like that, but not make the actual fee for renting it that much more than other places, because it's supposed to be for the community. Just my thoughts. You know, maybe 200, but with a $50 janitor fee and a $100 deposit or something.
There's not a building in town that's that nice. And I'd probably like to keep it there.
Well, that's just like the ones that made such a mess in there. You mark them off, they don't.
Right.
They don't get, they don't get their deposit back. That's what they do at the Cade building. If they have issues, they don't get, they don't get their deposit back and they get marked off. But I do,
That's what, because there's a lot of people, $200 starts coming up for. You know,
Stay home.
Yeah.
Their own shit.
I'd say 200 and $100 deposit.
Maybe you could do a $50 deposit and a $50 custodian fee, so they get 50 of it back, but you're keeping 50 for all of the toilet paper and the cleaning and all Miss Teresa's time and everything.
that's an idea.
Like have a $100 deposit and 50 of it's refundable.
And we keep, and we get to keep part of it.
Comes naturally to me.
Y'all shot me down, y'all carry up.
So what, $200 sound like everybody, most of us agree on $200. But
Everybody but Tick.
The kicker is, what do we do, like 100 or do we
Well,
split it?
I
or-
like Cody's idea of charging 50 and give them back 50.
Give them back 50, and that way at the end of the day, you're actually getting $250 for it, which is a meet in the middle for you and for everybody else. But 50 of it's refundable,
If it's clean, correct?
if it's clean.
Yes.
I'll make that motion. That we increase the rental agreement fee to $200 a day with a $200 deposit, $50 refundable, and $50 for custodial fees.
I thought it was $100 deposit.
That's what I
That's
said.
what I said.
No, it said two.
He
It
said
said $200 deposit. Hell, I was sitting right there next to you. I heard you when you said $200 deposit.
He said $10 fee.
Turn the hearing aids up.
That may be the problem. I don't have it.
Okay, here's a second.
We increased the daily amount from 150 to 200, and with the $100 deposit, which is 50 be refundable if it's clean, and $50 for custodian.
Question,
So they need to change.
do we start this January 1st? Because people have already rented for this, starting January 1st?
Start January 1st, 2000.
Okay, $200 to rent it. Do we need to we need to separate out the $50 for deposit, $50 for.
Yeah, I'll have to start getting the papers
It
copied
needs to be
out.
separated out.
Yeah, he did.
So they're gonna pay $300 when
Yes,
they rent
to
it,
get the key.
and they'll get $50 back.
If nothing is broken
Right.
or destroyed.
Well, they missed the total.
They just crap on the floor.
That was-
That's the thing I've ever seen.
I don't understand.
Any more discussion? We gotta make it.
Well, one thing I like about this is that the people that actually rent it, maybe now they will do a walkthrough before they leave to get their deposit back.
Well, and if somebody puts down a deposit, $100 deposit, and that's why instead of saying, I think you're kind of saying like a $250, but a $50 deposit. But if you're paying a deposit and then you cancel, you can still get back your $50. You're still not paying the $200 to actually rent it. I mean, it's still a deposit, so it's still separate to hold your place.
I mean,
But I mean, they bring all the money out.
and it's gonna be,
Yeah, they don't bring the
And then we
deposit.
write
to
a
the
check.
commissioner of the court. We've got like 23 right now. The
But still, I mean, if $50 is not refundable,
Deputy.
they could get back
But
$250
we
and
can't
still
be
get 50 out of it.
If,
They get back their $200 rental fee
if
and their
it's,
$50
but you have to
refundable
use
part of
it,
their
but you
deposit,
have to have your email and everything on it.
right?
So it's VoIP phones, like internet.
In other words, if they cancel, they lose
Well,
their
it's,
$50.
it's like iPhones and stuff like that. But
That's
you
fair
have to, it has to be used
This is nice,
like
this is nice, I've seen it in a long,
99%
long time.
county. You have to have your email on it and that kind of thing.
I'm proud of this. Any more discussion?
But I'm sure
No, all
after
in
this
favor?
discussion, there'll be more people wanting to be on it, but it's gonna be.
Well, her last little deal wasn't in that motion.
What?
No, it wasn't in
We
that.
keep $50 of it.
It was, cause he said
Was it?
$50 janitorial fee and $50 deposit.
But if they cancel,
Oh,
if
well,
they cancel and never move in,
missed
there
that.
you go.
but we don't really do it like that. Would they bring the money the day they pick up the key? And if they cancel, it'd have to be the day of the party. I mean, cause we don't really make them pay the deposit up front. The deposit is there to protect us in case they've broken the refrigerator or tore the paper towel holder off the wall. That's what it's there for, not to protect us, not to just give us money.
I mean, you could start having them put a deposit down when they reserve
But
it.
then they would have to come do the deposit and to reserve it and can't reserve it over the phone and come back and pick up the key.
All right.
Just whatever, how y'all want to do it. Move on.
I mean, that's how it should be, I think. If they're reserving it and make a deposit to reserve it, that's the purpose of a deposit, to reserve it, and then, I mean, otherwise call it an insurance fee or something. It's not a deposit if you're not depositing it up front to reserve it.
So we're gonna deposit that money in the bank and receipt it in, do an item like that. And then if they cancel, we're gonna have to fill all that out and they're gonna have to come back and get a check.
That's how it should work. I mean, that would be, I think, it's my opinion. I mean, you should pay a deposit when you reserve it.
So maybe we need to change the name of the fee.
Or just collect a deposit fee when they reserve it.
But I have people call from Houston to reserve it for 6 months in advance.
They can mail it, I say.
Part of it.
The purpose of reserving it is so that they can have that date listed on the calendar, and what it does is it takes away anybody else around here from having that day.
That secures it.
Now, I mean, you know, if I call and reserve something, I'm reserving it so that nobody else can have that day. And
Seems
what
like we
happens
need to
is,
revisit
if
this.
somebody from Houston calls 6 months in advance and reserves it, and somebody from Newton wants it, they can't reserve it on that date because the person from Houston did it. And if they cancel at the last minute, you know, we just scrapped out the person from around here.
It's basically, that's the way it is, that it's doing. That if they, everybody just always brings all their money in front and reserves the date and nobody else can have it for their date.
Yeah.
And then if it's left clean or whatever, then Liz and them will do a, or whatever, cut the check, you know.
Yeah.
Or the judge's office or opposition, for their deposit or janitorial, or whatever it's gonna be called.
We'll spend more time on this if we have one courthouse.
I'm
Let's
good
move
with
on to
whatever.
item number 14.
Yeah.
Discuss and appropriate approve contract between First Net and Newton County for new telephones and Ms. Liz.
I forgot your name. Cameron. Why did I forget that? Oh, y'all got a copy of the quote in there. FirstNet came, we visited a couple weeks ago. You know, with the new Senate bill that came through about your phones and all this kind of stuff. But anyway, not having that your phone is subject to Open Records Act if you've got county business on your personal phone. So they came and did a presentation to us, sent a quote, and we discussed the ones that we thought immediately would need phones, and we come up with 23. And I've got a printout right here. And I know this is going to change as we go, but it's we kind of looked at the people that involved, the sheriff's office, well, not the whole sheriff's office, just the deputies, the sheriff, Olin, commissioners, the judge, myself. So once we discuss all this, then we can kind of look. It's designed for first for sheriff's office, law enforcement. It's designed for them, but they do have a program that it can go out to other county employees. In their either the iPhone or the Android, and I'll let Cameron explain some of that to y'all. And then what I handed y'all was just based on the 23 phones. I didn't do for everybody that's got a cell phone allowance, because we got a lot of people that's got cell phone allowance. But just with those 23 phones, the cost of the cell phone allowance annually with benefits and everything is $15,167. And by going with this if we go with this program, it's $13,659, which is about $1,500 difference. It's cheaper to go this route. The phones are at a cost of like 99 cents a piece, $48 a month, I think, for unlimited talk, text, data, that kind of thing.
Are they like these?
I've got one in my, you need some.
Yeah, so there's a
I've
couple
been
of
using
different
one,
devices
just playing
you'll be
with
able
one
to choose
for.
from on the,
But
that are on the
if you have a cell phone of your own,
Android devices.
and you have one, if they think I use my personal cell phone for business, they're gonna ask for my personal phone anyway.
If you use it for business.
They're gonna suspect you do some kind of business on
But
it.
if you've got,
It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, if they wanna see what's on your phone, it doesn't make any difference. They're gonna, whether it belongs to the county or you, they're gonna look at it.
well, I know just like,
Because of the.
I don't have
It's got a public safety chipset.
email or anything on my phone.
Specific for public safety.
And there's times that, you know,
iPhone
just if I'm out and about, or when we were at school one time, the judge said, you see this email? Well, I don't have it on my personal phone, because I have, my life is on my personal phone, my personal life. And I don't want it to be and basically all I have on there is text between the office and different ones, and I've got
But
those
if they
set.
think that you
That's
might have,
fine.
they're gonna look at it
They're gonna
anyway.
look at that. But if you go to this kind of phone, you have to train yourself to use this phone for big county business. I mean, don't use your personal phone for
But
county
what I'm
business.
saying is, they know you're the auditor,
Yes,
and they look at your
and they can take a look at my phone.
and they're gonna say, you know, she might have had something on her personal phone.
Well, that's
I wanna
with
see it.
anything.
They're gonna look at it anyway.
Yes.
By moving to the agency style and having an archiving system in place, should an open records request come in and you submit the messages that are on that agency phone, you now put the burden back on the individual to not just, I think you've got something, show it to me. They now have to produce cause for that. That would no longer be an open record for your personal phone. That'd be more, I gotta submit for a subpoena to get your personal phone. And so it kind of transfers the burden back to the individual that's requesting that information. As opposed to right now, y'all have a county phone, I know every one of you has a message of some kind that's county business. That burden's on you guys to archive, to be able to produce those messages. Whereas if you've got the agency phone, you've got the archiving system in place, you've transferred that burden back to the person that's on their little fishing expedition.
What it does is it creates more work for them on their half. If you do have a county phone and you use the county phone for county business, then just like he was saying, when they do an open records request, that's through the Attorney General's office, correct? And, you know, they can get the county phone. you can say there's nothing on my personal phone. Now, when you turn over the records on your county phone and they look at them, if they want to go further and try to get your personal phone, then it's gonna involve a lot more litigation to get your personal phone than it would to get your county phone. And that's the difference. And, you know, there would have to be either a county judge, or a district judge, or a federal judge to sign off to be able for them to get your personal phone. And I don't think any district judge around here is gonna sign off on anybody trying to get
The only,
commissioners.
I've had this same number for 19 years.
Yes, sir.
And everybody calls me on that, my personal phone.
Yes, sir.
And they're gonna continue probably for.
And you don't have to, it's not gonna be,
Call on that number, so I guess I said, set up, got to call back on this number.
and it's, you don't have to go to this phone. I mean, it's gonna be up to the court, and then, like, if you don't want it, we can just say you don't want it. And if there's other department heads that need these, they can put their name in the hat too. But it also, in like emergencies, you know how we didn't have, these go to top priority, you know, when everything's jammed up during a disaster or whatever. FirstNet goes to like a priority. So you're not bogged down, you know, all the lines are tied up. These go up to a public safety priority so that you can communicate while you're out there. When everybody else is bogged down, you can use these phones. They shoot them up to a priority. They also, on the law enforcement side, have the capability of, like when they're in bad areas, correct me if I'm wrong, or if you want to get into that, you know, where they can talk through their radio, through the phone, when they're in a bad area for their radios.
So, yeah, within it, and I rudely didn't put myself on private. I apologize, y'all heard my radio go off a little bit ago. And it's a two-way, similar to the LMR system. In fact, we've talked about potentially evolving to a setup for the sheriff's office where the phone system has the ability to integrate into the existing LMR network, so that sheriff's office comes over their LMR, it's actually going to come through on the push talk system on the phone as well, and vice versa for those guys. So it gives them a redundancy for their radios if they kind of outrun the LMR network. You've got an LTE and a Wi-Fi fallback. So if you're in in a building where maybe LMR's not penetrating, you're in a basement, a command center, and you got to take somebody to a prison that outruns the LMR. You got the ability to actually still interop into that system via the cell phone. That's kind of an evolution of the network, and a big part of the FirstNet mission is providing mission critical communications to first responders and those that support them.
How long will this, or when will this go into effect?
What do you mean?
Everybody
The
gets a
phones?
new phone and.
If it's, whenever it's approved by court, and then they start working on getting everything together, and then they'll
So you
have
only
it.
look at months, a month or two?
Probably, what did you tell me, about 6 weeks or so, 2 months?
Yeah, I would think ideal to make sure that you guys have plenty of time to schedule, whoever would be getting devices, to schedule it out, to make sure we make a nice, easy transition, easy rollout for you guys, early to mid-December, but as quickly as you would want to move forward would be, perfectly acceptable to make that happen for you. But I think within the next 3 to 4 weeks is very doable and gives, keeps it from becoming a fire drill, so to speak, for anybody that had to be involved.
So Cameron, if we go through, this just ran through my mind, and we've got some other folks in the county that we figure out that's gonna need the phones, so it's added on at the same price if we go that route?
Yes, ma'am. So
Okay.
the individual price point is listed on that quote.
Right.
So if we went from 23 to 24, you would just add that number
Okay.
one more time.
Okay.
And that would continue to scale out.
Because we're, as we get to thinking about it,
Yeah.
there's gonna be some that we forgot about, or somebody that needs them, and we can just let you know.
You say we're gonna have much better service?
Yes, sir. So we did, provided Olin with several test devices over the last, almost 6 weeks. We've had test devices in the hand. We also put a modem in the sheriff's truck, and he had for about 3 weeks drove around with that, mapping the network. Had around 99% reliability. There's still, some rural areas where it's going to drop out a little bit. But it was very strong coverage, very good connectivity on main county roads, main state roads, and he did his best to try to get on, really cover as much highway as he could. He said he didn't get as much as he wanted to, but it was, the map was comprehensive. I don't know if I got a chance to look at that, Judge. You were here to review that. Very good service, with a lot of growth coming. Actually, since we met a week and a half ago, we had another tower go live down the south end of the county. I hadn't had a chance to tell you guys about that one. That just got announced on Friday.
Where is it located, Cameron?
Down, I'll get you the exact spot. I had kind of a entire South Texas map, and so it was, I could see it was on the south end of the county. I didn't get an opportunity to zoom in to see exactly where it was on it. I'll get that for you though. But the growth plan for FirstNet here in Newton County and the surrounding counties is aggressive. And that's, as we went over, and Thomas Randall from the FirstNet Authority came in last week and presented as well on the federal side. Those commitments they're not best effort, they're not best intentions, but we're contractually obligated to follow through with that as a part of the state of Texas opting into the FirstNet program. And so we're committed to supporting public safety, committed to supporting you guys to make sure you have the very best network possible.
This is AT&T.
And I had one of those phones, and I've heard people say on the north end that there's never any service up there. That phone was picking up better than my Verizon phone, and I'm not just saying that because he's sitting there, but it was picking up good. I actually used it from my house, and I've had people sitting there with AT&T phones, and they didn't work. But it had better service than mine did.
And that's the big difference with this, with the AT&T name on there. When you're in an area where maybe we're known as being the best, there's two things that have separated it. One, we were not contracted by FirstNet Authority to, okay, we're gonna slap the FirstNet name on your network, and now you're hosting this. We're building out a brand new network, what Thomas Randall from FirstNet Authority calls the fifth carrier. We truly are building out a fifth carrier in the U.S. that is dedicated to public safety. That's a 4-year build plan that we're a little over 2 years into here in the state of Texas. Newton County, Jasper County, Sabin County, you're getting a lot of the network growth in white space since this past summer on through September of next year. But also, even on existing infrastructure, the existing network that's in place, you touched on this, that it's been a very powerful impact for public safety, and that's the priority that public safety gets on AT&T's existing network. When you're earmarked as FirstNet, when it's on that platform, it's kind of like if you went to Disney World and you're waiting in line for an hour to go do that 3-minute ride, and then you're next up, and those guys walk up with that little golden ticket in the fast pass lane and jump right in front of you. That's priority on our network. So when you're in an area where you get one bar, and it might be kind of sporadic coverage, just because somebody else is kind of, the data traffic is you're alternating where you're at in line with the other folks around you. With FirstNet, you are always the front of the line, and so even that just a small signal is maintained, so you get connectivity much stronger. I have even just coming here, I live over in the great metropolis of Willis, and so my drive over here today, coming down 190, there's some areas that traditionally we've known for being kind of spotty. I was on the phone almost the entire time, never dropped a call, and it's because my phone is a FirstNet device, and it's made, even when it drops down to a very weak signal, it is the highest priority on our network next to a 911 phone call. And so it's maintaining that call much further than what other calls would necessarily be maintained. That's why for us it was so important to put test devices in the hands of the county and let you guys rotate those through. But I think you still have one of those.
Yeah, I've got it. I need to get it to you.
And but it's testing very, as you said, it seems to be testing better than certainly better than what a commercial grade, consumer grade AT&T would get, but also, we're hearing, great feedback that's performing better than, other competitors to AT&T.
Well, one thing about your personal phone bill, unless it's, if it's an iPhone 10R or newer, and I don't know about some of the other phones, they do not have this band 14 in those phones, and so you, even though you kept your own phone, you still would not be able to get on the priority network.
Yeah, it could still get priority with that phone, but it wouldn't necessarily have access to band 14, the public safety network we're building out in 700 frequency. So it penetrates further from our towers than our normal consumer grade, better through buildings, and FCC's given us some waivers for being able to bring the power up to that in certain situations, above and beyond what normal commercial networks can be cranked up to. That was an incredibly important scenario for us in down in Galveston County when the Kemo police chief went missing and they had to search and rescue out there in the bay. We were able to take the network above normal capacity to be able to get signal out 5 miles out there in the bay so that they had communications during that. And that would be another thing that would be relevant here. If you're maybe, performing a search and rescue type situation in a rural area out in the forest where maybe signal is not penetrating, we've got the ability to make network changes on the fly. I know that we couldn't do that. We've got the ability to roll out what we call SATCOLT satellite trucks, where we would actually bring a satellite backhaul network to you on a vehicle to be able to provide you service where, if you were working an incident outside of what the normal network capacity would allow you to communicate effectively. So we've got a lot of resources that are opened up to you guys by being on that public safety network. That SATCOLT is available to you as an agency at zero cost. That's not something that you call it in and then you get a $10,000 phone bill because we had to roll that truck out. It's zero cost to an agency that's first a customer.
What is the $4,600 credit? What is
That's for each of the smartphones that's onboarded. It's kind of a sign-on incentive. You're getting $200 per phone that comes over. So there's 23 lines times 200. That's $4,600. The bill itself of $1,100 or I think $1,140, give or take. So you multiply that out by the year, that'd be your budget, what you'd be taking on expense-wise, minus that $4,600 bonus credit. You'll get that in 3 or 4 months.
Our 15,000 that you're talking about, Liz, that'll be
It will
46.
take that 46 off of
Off
it.
that.
Cool.
Yeah, so there's about $1,500 a month, or $1,500 a year savings,
Yeah.
not counting.
Not counting the
that,
46, okay.
That bonus credit.
I'm glad you asked that because I was about to ask.
So about $6,000 savings for you guys this first year and $1,500 thereafter.
And let me put this out there too, if you decide you want one of these phones, then your cell phone allowance goes away. If you have a county, and I just had to put that out there. But if you have a county-owned phone, you don't get cell phone allowance.
Well, I don't know what the agenda says that we're talking about the telephone, but I would like, while you're here in the court, expand on a little bit about what y'all presented to us the other day about expanding rather than just the telephones. You went on to the computers and the radio and the sheriff department.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so and a lot of I believe right now Newton County the officers don't currently have computers or a laptop in the vehicle, but at some point would like to have that capability. That's something that the data devices are available for that. So a big part of what we do is the data modems in a vehicle where they'll then be able to get connectivity for the CAD program that would sync up with 911 service. That's and in some cases where I know if the county starts looking at devices for each officer, each vehicle, a lot of times those laptops are $4,000 or $5,000 each. There's with FirstNet backhaul, there's tablets that will work for, there's a lot of agencies that have started going to your tablet solution as opposed to the traditional MDT, and those are hundreds per device as opposed to thousands per device. So it could potentially, as the sheriff's office grows, that connectivity in their vehicles that they provide with each officer, that's potential massive savings that would be backhauled and powered by the FirstNet network.
What about our radio system?
So we are working towards offering a mission critical grade push to talk system. It's not there yet. We're not here to replace your LMR. Not here to replace your radio system. But that's kind of the direction. That's a lot of agencies are asking for a replacement for that. LTE is a strong network that's provided everywhere, and we believe that's coming. Right now, it's very complementary to that network. We've got the ability to do the push talk system as we demoed the other day when we were in here. That can be taken a step further. I know the sheriff is very interested in exploring this capability of actually linking the phone and the push talk system on the phone into the LMR, the radio system for the sheriff's office for EMS. That's been a great resource for agencies where you may have some kind of black holes to your LMR where they can get outside of coverage even within the own territory that you serve. It's a fantastic fallback for that and very complimentary service to it. We're working towards getting certifications and reliability for an outright replacement, but that's still a little ways out for what we would consider mission critical service. Hoping the first rendition of mission critical should be launching early next year, but again, it's not something we are going to advertising or bragging about replacing radio systems. It's still early in the evolution towards that, but it's definitely coming.
So does Jaffa County have this?
I'll be meeting with them next week.
Okay. What about Sabine County?
I don't believe they're on yet. They're sitting within my group. There's a different gentleman that supports them. I talked to him actually on Friday specifically about Sabine, because I know with the way you guys have mutual aid for each other, we want to work with all three counties to help integrate your LMRs like we were talking about in that meeting. I think that would be a fantastic aid for you guys to have all three LMRs integrated into FirstNet devices with one unified talk group that allows them to blast to all three counties. And that's something that is an existing technology that would be able to be provided to the Tri-County area today. That's something, each would have to elect for that independently. But it sounds like everybody's already pretty on board with that. I know the Jasper judge was pretty vocal proponent for moving in that direction, and I believe Sabine will be just as enthusiastic about it.
Is there a new law coming out that the sheriff department must have these computers in their cars? 2020 or 2021? Are you aware of it?
Not that I've heard, but it wouldn't surprise me at all. If that's come through and I haven't heard about it, then shame on me.
Look, that computer system is going to be basically the same thing DPS have in their car.
Yes, sir. Yeah, there's multiple variations of that and different vendors that provide it, but same idea of being able to connect back to your central command, your dispatch, and to be able to pull records on the scene, on the spot, and different variations from technology, from as simple as getting back to dispatch and being able to pull some basic records to live look-ins to the cameras that are in the vehicle for dispatch and for other, potentially responding support. So depending on which way you guys want to go with that, that's a lot of opportunity. FirstNet is kind of we are the pipe that allows that connectivity to take place, and that priority on our network that we talked about is what allows to, regardless of what's going on with the mobile network, priority number one is public safety, the first responders. So when they are out in the field and trying to, somebody's looking in on that camera live to see what's going on because the officer quit responding. FirstNet is what allows that connectivity to stay strong, stay alive, so that he has the responding officer will have as much detail as possible coming into whatever situation they're about to walk up on.
I mean, I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
I know there's more information than what our agenda is, but I think the Commissioner Court need to hear that because what may be coming on down the pipe.
Yeah, and I know the initial is the Senate Bill 944 and getting compliant with that. One thing I didn't touch on, but just with that, the archive, I know we talked about this last week or before. The archiving system that's a part of this, it's done at carrier level, so it's not something that you guys have to download onto the device itself. For whoever will be managing that portal, you get access to it. So whoever the county or the sheriff's office assigns to managing that, responses to those open record requests are very easy. Right now, if somebody requested your messages, do y'all have the equipment in place to be able to download those messages and provide them? Do you have an easy way to redact, to pull out the things that are not relevant to the request? There is no easy way to do that just from the device without spending a lot of money on software and hardware. With this program, it's cloud-based. There's no hardware that you have to buy, no new servers to store the information on site. It's done through a secure cloud, CJIS certified for law enforcement, and it's the pulling the records is very easy. So it's not going to be a lot of man hours on the county. They can pull them. It's automatically indexed, very user-friendly for searching, and then in addition to some of the automatic redaction capability that's built into the program, the cloud itself, you guys would then get the ability to easily do redactions based off the records that come. So you're removing names and whatever, you're removing items that aren't relevant. Pulling the record is easy, and then you just got a little bit extra redaction so you're able to meet that request without tons and tons of man hours.
So Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff.
So do you have a choice?
Yes, sir. Yeah, y'all, as far as if you want an iPhone, the iPhone XR is what I recommend for DIR, the state purchasing agreement. It's a 99-cent device for the county. So if you're an Apple user, that's the phone I recommend. If you like Android, we've got 4 or 5 different devices. The one I recommend for anybody that's kind of tough on a phone would be the Kyocera here. It's a rugged, purpose-built device, great for your law enforcement, your first responders, your road and bridge utility type folks that can be out in the field. We have some, one of the devices I know you guys tested was the Samsung S10e. That's another one that will be subsidized on the DIR purchasing agreement and is more of your consumer grade as far as not the rugged, beat it up type device, but a good high-end Android device. So I can provide a list to you guys and you pick out of that of the devices that will be 99 cents. Like I said, there's half a dozen or so that will be in that price point.
So what about damages to the phone and upgrades?
On DIR, we've got it set for 11-month upgrade cycle, so you guys will be able to upgrade annually, basically.
What cost?
It depends on the device. That same iPhone that's 99 cents for the new purchase is only $50 on the upgrade cycle, and so still relatively inexpensive considering that's a $600 device. If any of you were to walk into a AT&T or competitor store right now and say, this is the device I want, they'd sell it to you on an installment, and that installment would total $600 by the time the payments are done on it. For the county, it'd be $50 on that upgrade with the upgrade cycle. For that new activation, it'd be 99 cents. And we've got similar for the ranging from 99 cents up to around $100. You'll have 6 to 8 devices to be able to choose from in both the iPhone and Android platforms.
So what happens if we have one that we get smashed or something. I
The,
mean, you know, just an accident.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you got your cover and protection on it, but I mean, if you hit it just right and it breaks it, cracks the screen, whatever, do y'all replace those?
you can, you'd be able to do the replacements on. Kyocera has a fantastic warranty. It's 2-year warranty on this device.
Okay.
It will cover damage. Another device that we brought a couple of weeks ago, the Sonum, is a 3-year, no questions asked warranty. It's a little bit bigger, thicker than this device. And it's also Android platform, very rugged device. Apple's warranty does not cover damage, so you would be responsible for paying that cost on it. There's other avenues that we can go to help make sure we get you inexpensive advice. With the IR, there's no contract cancellation fee to the agency, so it's usually pretty easy to get you guys devices. At the number of them that you're talking about doing, I do not recommend purchasing insurance for it. You would, at 20 plus devices, you self-insure. You know, if you're paying $10 or more per month per line for insurance, you're basically buying a new phone every couple of months, whether you need it or not, just with insurance. And then, oh, by the way, there's a deductible when you got to do the claim on it. You know, you self-insure with that. And then on a case by case, if there's and in the first 11 months, if there's a broken device, we'll look at, make sure we get the county a replacement as inexpensive as possible. After 11 months, you kind of look at that. You got every single line you just did is now upgrade eligible, so you upgrade as needed, and you probably always have something that's able to have a device refresh.
Okay. So action board from the county court will take.
We don't need it for the future. I recommend we approve the, contract between the, FirstNet and Newton County for the new phone.
Yeah. Do what? What do you suggest?
This
Don't
is
mean to
what-
put you on the spot, but.
Yeah, okay. Well, let me tell you where Billy, Ted, and I have been. This FirstNet has been out for about 2 years, but one of the problems we had was the AT&T service within our rural county. And they're building, you know, they built a lot of towers, and filling some of those holes. This is a little quicker, but what's pushing that forward is the 944. You know, the subpoena or the Open Records Act on your phones, those different things. And I'm still a little concerned with coverage. I know what Billy did with his truck, but that was an external antenna stuck on the windows of the truck. That's not the cell phone in your hand. And so I don't think we're going to get quite the coverage that he got with his truck. I know at Devil's Pocket there is no coverage. The Sonum phone I had there, you know, didn't have anything. Hopefully we've discussed, you know, filling that hole and some others that we've got in the county. But it's just kind of pushed us to this point that I think with everything that's coming, and there's so much technology in phones and radios right now, and the cross between that's coming that's going to fill a lot of gaps. You know, some of the stuff he's talking about, some is ready now that we can actually put a gateway on the repeater at Bleakwood with that AT&T tower that close and go through that. I think right now the thing is cost, you know, for that. But as far as being able to get on the phone and use it when you need to and not having to compete with the regular citizen, it's and you know, saving money really for the county. I know there's going to be some complaints, people, you know, having to give up a phone. I never wanted to carry 2 phones. I still don't want to, but it's going that direction. So you either change with it or, you know, you're stuck with what you got. I think it's great as far as being able to be priority where you go over everybody else other than 911.
Me? I'm kind of like Olin, the direction we're heading. with all the, you know, the laws and then that we've got the capability to expand with the sheriff's office, and I just think we ought to do it. And it's gonna save us some money.
You made?
Yes.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded, we'll approve the contract between First and any more discussion? All in favor? Four. Number 15 is authorized Commissioner Precinct 4 to purchase a wheel excavator with a rotator cut. Commissioner Gene Thompson, let's hear.
Yes, sir. Mr. Jean's been working on this for a while. He's got I think he's got one that he's been just shelling money out on, and it's pretty much to the point that he can't fix it. So he got several quotes. Caterpillar gave him the best quote. It's a wheeled excavator with a rotary cut on it. I don't know, he may have talked to one of y'all about this too. Y'all may know more about it than I do, because I don't. And he got a quote from Cat Financial, which they gave a better rate than Welch Bank could, 3.35%. And I think it's like the graders that they do the 5 years. He does the 5 payments, and if he wants to trade up, he can trade up. If not, he does a balloon payment and keeps it, kind of thing. It's a rotating lease deal. His payments would be $34,095 starting next year, a year out. It'll be 5 payments.
They can use this as a boom mower, also it has quick connect. He can take the boom mower off and put a clean out bucket on it and clean ditches.
Have you seen it, Ben? Have you looked at it?
I saw the pictures of it, I think that's the machine.
Yeah, that's just the mower, never mind, that's not the machine.
Well, where that we're going with all these paving on these streets, probably gonna need it.
I make a motion to authorize Commissioner Precinct 4 to purchase wheel excavator with rotary cut.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded, we'll purchase give Precinct 4 authority to purchase a wheel excavator with rotating head. Any more discussion? Not all in favor? 4. And 16 is authorized Precinct 4 financial equipment with Cat Financial, and I think Leah just went through that.
Yes, sir, I went over that.
So.
Second.
Motion been made second to use Cat Financial for finance that equipment. Any more discussion? Not all in favor? 4.
Much more to be done without getting in a bind.
Number 17 is bid select is committee to submit recommendation for application development, project manager, grant administration, and development of pre-disaster mitigation plan for YF 2019 pre-disaster mitigation grant program.
That was a mouthful, wasn't it? This is one of the grants that come from FEMA that come around every couple of years, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't go back and refresh my memory, but anyway, this is the one we usually use to do our update our pre-disaster plan. We had one submittal, and it was H2O Partners. They are out of San Antonio or Austin. I can't remember. I'm sorry. Austin. They've submitted before, and I've got copies of their submittals if y'all want to look at them. The bid selection committee went over them. pretty in-depth. They've done a lot of this work before. And the committee recommends that we go with H2O Partners.
Like we had a choice.
Well, we could rebid, but and we thought about that too. The applications are due the end of January 2020, so we've got a pretty short time schedule with it. And I don't have time.
What was the name of that?
H2O Partners.
Water Partners.
I'm assuming y'all checked some of their references. And
We
stuff like that.
went over some of them, and I had checked them before at a previous deal. They had done their homework, because in their presentation, they knew the timeline, they knew when the application was due, they knew when ours expires. And ours expires in 22, June of 22, I think, or 21, I can't remember. Anyway, they had done their homework, and they have their timeline was in order, and just hope we're doing the right thing. I mean, that's all we can do. But I had checked some of the references at a couple of times back when they had submitted, because they've got a lot of experience.
Mark, have you heard of these people?
Yes, sir, I have heard of them. They have been around for quite a while now. As far as the quality of their work, I cannot comment on that. I don't know about.
So, what's our deadline?
The application deadline's the end of January, which is only about 2.5 months is all.
Can't find anybody closer.
I sent out probably to either 12 or 14 different grant administrators, and that's the only one I got back. I have a list that I sent out to, and that's the only one I got back. We can try them and see. Need a motion?
What y'all suggest?
That's one of your committee selected, right?
Yeah.
I might have move on.
I'll second.
Motion was made second to approve H2O project for item number 17. Any more discussion? All in favor? Okay, number 18 is bid selection committee to submit recommendation for application to development project managers and grant administration for FY 2019 budget restoration assistance grant program.
This is another of FEMA's grants that I think it's every couple of years. It's the Flood Mitigation Assistance Program. Got a whole packet of what you can do with it. We had one submittal, and it was Traylor and Associates. And the committee recommends that we hire Traylor and Associates for this project. And that application is also due the end of January.
Make a motion, we accept the committee's recommendation.
Motion been made second. We accept Traylor and Associates application number 18. All in favor?
That little column we had gonna reflect in here, is it corrected on here?
No, it'll be November.
Do it,
It'll be November.
in November.
Well, it'll show on our printout. Ready? Payment of bills for October 2019. General fund, $470,057.66. NCC accrual, $18,512.05. DA state funds, $3,261.34. Road and Bridge General, $27,215.73. Road and Bridge Precinct 1, $63,012.11. Road and Bridge Precinct 2, $55,756.65. Road and Bridge Precinct 3, $87,620.88. Road and Bridge Precinct 4, $130,221.76. Courthouse Security, $545.23. VAW Grant, $5,252.41. Commissioners Special Precinct 1, $89,021.94. Commissioner Special Precinct 2, $22,138.86. Commissioner Special Precinct 3, $15,965.75. Commissioner Special Precinct 4, $5,764.44. Dedicated Road Precinct 1, $4,913.77. Records Preservation, $841.76. Lateral Road Precinct 4, $492.48. Victims Impact Panel, $1,135.54. Solid Waste, $87,186.90. Voter Registration, $4,877.11. Law Library, $500.05. Newton County Library, $14,608.12. Historical Commission, $5,074.74. DA Contraband, $1,018. Hazard Mitigation Grant, $23,672.50. FEMA, $17,142.41. Grants, $2,452,057.57. Civic Center Operations, $4,396.21. State fee account, $37,796.20. Technology fund, $260.04 for a grand total of $3,650,320.21. And $2.5 million of that plus is grant funds, so they were reimbursed back in there. The Precinct 3 Road and Bridge and Solid Waste, I heard somebody gasp when I said those big numbers. Those were some note payments that got paid out and they got reimbursed back in there. Motion.
Make the motion to pay the bill from
So moved.
Bill, this is your,
Yeah, that's it.
Army truck.
Yeah, just show it in use.
Where'd this come from?
I got it in,
In your box?
yeah, I think it came in my box downstairs.
Bring up.